Looks like I'm not the only one that's messing around with Bacillus, Mycorhizza, amoebas, and other types of beneficial bacteria. Come to find out, about 1 mile that way, the old sediment ponds that Penn State now and Department of Agriculture and a bunch of really smart engineers, what they are doing is taking that sludge from the mill. At the mill, what they do, those big tanks down there in the flat, those are full of all the nasty stuff from the mill. It is food grade, it's not that bad, but what happens is they inoculate those tanks with mycorrhizae, bacillus. They have their own blend. It's a big, huge truck. They call it MACROGROW. And what it is it's biologicals. And again, like I've been trying to describe, what they do, biologicals will eat this pile and release enzymes and hormones and other types of beneficial stuff that you really can't create man-made. These bugs have to do it. So what happens is their manure or extract, whatever you want to call it, is fertilizer for plants. So I don't know if you've heard the rumors. I'm going to try and get access over there with permission from Penn State and everybody else, because they are growing an entire farm in those sediment pond. They drained it, the dam, and they have farms over there, big ones. They are growing all kinds of stuff in that leftover tar bacteria, those tanks, and they're growing food in it, and then they're testing it to see if it's safe for consumption, because here's the key. Just as I have found, when you use biologicals and beneficials, the plants grow twice as fast, produce twice as much fruit, and have twice as much vitamins in them. The only thing they're not sure of is if there's any bad stuff in it, and they're researching the heck out of it, because if this works the way it will work, those beneficial bacteria are going to save this planet. And Penn State's on it. The paper mill is on it. They don't use a lot of the hardcore chemicals that they used to use and dump in the river. They don't do that anymore. They haven't done that for years. What they do release into the river, you can drink. The biologicals remove all the bad stuff, and then when you add lime, it kills them off. They need to be super acidic and hot. So, on top of the lime, we have super acidic and hot bugs. Below will be alkaline soil, which will allow the roots to penetrate, and it'll act as a compost tea. So when it rains, the essence of that pile will, like a coffee pot, go down into the soil and become immediately absorbed by the root system of the plants. It's really not that complicated. It is rocket science, if you can believe it. NASA is the one who has invented it, and it all stems from hydroponics, E. coli breakouts, and a lot of other bad stuff that's going on with the environment. These beneficial bugs solve the problem without harsh chemicals or stuff that can cause cancer or reproductive harm or defects in births and all that other good stuff that's going on right now. Anyway, we're trying to save the planet. And beneficial bacteria, again, Bacillus subtilis, Mycorrhizae, anything that lives in the rhizosphere, that is what we are cultivating. We're actually breeding and propagating bugs because we want those little bacteria, amoebas, little critters to release their enzymes and hormones to the plant, which allows them to grow like crazy. Again, when we talk about synthetic fertilizers, what that is a human being trying to do what those bugs do. And the way they do it was with harsh chemicals. They'll use nuclear salts, they'll use other stuff to bind the amino acid chains so that the pH and everything else stays stable. You get a nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus that stays balanced and doesn't get out of whack. Kind of like playing God, whereas this is letting God do his job. So there we go. I don't want to get too complicated, but again, do some research. Bacillus subtilis, Mycorrhizae, they're big words, but if you look them up, they got on Wikipedia, they got great information that explains what they do. If you do a Google search for MACROGROW, you can find out exactly what the paper mill is using. It's all safe stuff. We're extremely lucky to be in this area. That paper mill's got the EPA crawling on them like ants, and they're locked down. They can't release any bad stuff into the air, the environment, or anything else. All of their leftovers are going to the farm at Penn State, where the rumor is they're actually packaging it and shipping it all over the country and growing in it because they have proved that it's safe. But it's not available to the public yet. Registration is extremely difficult on these products because if they get out of control, which is almost impossible because they kill each other off and all that, they can begin to attack the plants. So the blight, the rust, is not blight, it's not rust. I hate to break it to you. It's the beneficial bugs running out of food. When the beneficial bugs run out of food, they begin to attack the plants themselves. When they attack the plants, because they live inside the plants, in appearance, it looks almost identical to rust or some of the other problems that are going on here. But all that is proof that the plants are weak and the bugs are strong. So, feed them. You feed the bugs release the enzymes, the plant grows, and the beneficials leave the plants alone. It's a heck of a balance. It includes a lot of lime, messing with the acidity, sometimes even adding in chlorine to kill off some of these bugs. Kind of like a giant saltwater fish tank is what's going on. Everything from molybdenum, magnesium, calcium, tons of elements that are lacking from our food currently because most of the, God, I hate to talk about this stuff, but most of the food that we eat is grown hydroponically and it's not done right. They're using basic synthetic NPK fertilizers with no trace elements. And the plants are green. I call them solar-powered plastic plants. They don't have any nutritional value in them at all. Yeah, it's a tomato. It's round, it's red, but it's water. There's nothing in it you can get anything from. Same with the salads. Same with all of the lettuce that's grown in this country. It is shipped over here on boat from China. And people are eating it up like it's the good stuff. It's in all the fast food chains. So this is the solution. Using nature and not trying to play God. I want to give a big thumbs up to Penn State. They're actually figuring this out. And they're not the only ones. Every university on the planet, you wouldn't believe what's going on in Berkeley, in the UC system in California. They are testing this on a lot of different plants to see. And every time they do a research, they prove that it's 100% safe. Excuse me, 99.9% safe. But safe enough to dump into the river where there are fish and ducks, an entire ecosystem, and not affect it at all. So again, the paper mill is safe. These biological bugs are safe. In the future, I assume that the mill will actually be producing their own potting soil and distributing it through the university system. We're in for a heck of a show. Thanks.